I was so concerned for your well-being. Alright, we are back. And we're the best friends that ever did. Okay, anyway, let's go. We're taking on... That was from The Hangover, but I didn't do it right, so... It was kind
Well,
of...
that's why I didn't get it, because I didn't see that movie.
This was kind of a crappy reference. Anyway, we are on to Gen number 1 for the worst Pokemon. Now, this is a really, really difficult one, because there is such big nostalgia goggles for this first gen that we can't say any of them are bad. Like, this list is so hard. Like, even, you know, the top 5 is not bad compared to a lot of other Pokemon, so...
I mean, it was tough to narrow down. We had a lot of, like, not arguments, but debates amongst ourselves, like lobbying for specific Pokemon. Very tough to narrow down.
Especially since apparently one guy just has to say, no, I don't want it on the list, and it's not on the list.
Well, you are that one guy.
Yeah, you are that guy, buddy.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, anyway, we're trying to come to a consensus here, and it's very difficult to do because the nostalgia goggles are very strong for this gen.
Yeah,
but,
everybody loves this gen. It's the undeniable best generation. You might disagree, but you're wrong. So let's jump right into it with number 5, which is me.
Number 5.
My favorite Pokemon of all time is Magnemite. And I think Magnemite is awesome. As a kid, he was always really cool, and like he was like robotic, and he didn't seem like all the other Pokemon, you know? He seemed...
And he was your very first Steel type once that came around.
Yes, which was strange. He was also my very first Pokemon card. But he always fascinated me compared to all the other Pokemon. He just seemed so man-made. And then he evolves. And he's not as cool. Magneton is our pick for number 5 because of how lazy it is. See, like, we still like Magneton. Like, we're gonna say that pretty much with every single one of these Pokemon. We still like him. He's a pretty good Pokemon, but he's really lazy. Like, he's just 3 of Magnemite taped together. And like, if you've ever played any of the 3D games, they're not even taped together. They're just like hovering near each other. Like, play Pokemon Snap. They're like inches apart from each other.
Feet, I would argue. In Pokemon Snap, I've never seen them further apart.
It's hardly a evolution. It's just 3 of them hanging out. You know, like, hey man, you want to go grab a beer? Yeah, sure, let's go. Invite Charlie too. Like, what? Like. Magneton is really lazy, and that's why he's number 5 on this list. Not because he's bad, he's just uninspired.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's 3 Magnemites because they magnetically came together.
That's the idea.
Then why does it evolve without 2 other Magnemites?
That's the point.
Exactly.
Huh? I don't know. That's Game Freak.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure in the Pokedex it says something basically like that.
That they just got stuck together and they're like, we can make this work.
I guess I evolved.
Yeah.
Wow, when did I get 2 other Magnemite? That was cool. But yeah, anyway, Ricky, you wanted to say something, but...
Well... yeah, that ship has sailed, my friend.
Alright, well, I guess we'll move on to number 4 then. Who's taking this one?
I have number 4.
Oh, alright.
Number 4! In a similar vein to Magneton, our number 4 pick, it's another really lazy, uninspired trio. A certain Dugtrio, you might say. So yeah, I think Diglett is really cute. You know, he's a little mole, he's got a big giant bulbous nose.
Diglett dig, Diglett dig.
Funny story about Diglett, actually. I had a really, really old issue of Nintendo Power. It's like, this was when I first found out that Pokemon evolved. And like, I was disappointed because I was like, oh man, Pikachu's not going to be cute forever. But like, they had this chart. Well, yeah, I didn't know. But the chart, it showed like Pikachu and there was an arrow. And it pointed to Raichu. And it was like, you know, showing that Pokemon evolved. But there was an arrow coming from Raichu pointing to Diglett. I was like, wait a minute. What? Yeah, I can't prove this because I no longer have it, but I just remember thinking that was the strangest thing. Anyway, when Diglett evolves, he becomes just like same as Magneton. He becomes 3 Diglett. He's Dugtrio. There's 3 of them. Woo! That's really exciting. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, by the very nature of the fact that this is first gen, there's going to be Pokemon on this list that we actually like. In fact, all of them are Pokemon that we actually like. I happen to love Dugtrio. He's super useful. He's got a great ability, super fast, powerful enough to wreck stuff. Give him a choice band. It's great. I love Dugtrio. He's awesome. But he's so lazy. Like, they just took Diglett and they copied and pasted him twice.
Gave him angry eyes.
Angry face.
Yeah.
This all sounds very familiar.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? It's the same exact argument that we put Magneton on this list. Like, it's not that he's bad. He's just nothing. He's lazy.
Well, maybe the Diglett's magnetically attracted him.
Diglett's body is actually a Magnemite.
Yep.
Well, that's
Well,
what holds
actually,
them together.
I'm sure people have seen that picture on the internet with like the Dugtrio and the show's underground. It's like a bunch of dudes hugging each other.
Muscly dudes, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's what's really going on down there.
hello.
That's why they're angry.
Oh boy. Anyway, Dugtrio, lazy, uninspired, same as Magneton. Moving on, number 3.
Number 3!
Oh, number 3, I'll take this one. Isn't too bad, once again. We love all of first gen. But, Golbat is our number 3. He's kind of just like a Zubat with a bigger mouth and eyes.
And legs.
And legs, oh yeah, of course.
Instead of chopsticks.
Yeah.
He has his chopsticks jammed
Chopsticks
in him.
would make Zubat cool.
Not
Yeah.
necessarily legs, it's feet. That's
Yeah,
what
pretty
he has.
Well, he's got legs.
And
Zubat has chopsticks for
He's
legs,
got legs.
but he doesn't have feet.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Golbat. Never mind.
So, I don't know. What's up with it?
for me, it's why he has a tongue.
I
Yeah,
miss Golbat's
the,
tongue.
The tongue
Yeah.
was what made him cool originally. Like,
Yeah,
and
he
then
was-
they took
he-
away the tongue.
He was kind of menacing with like the tongue, you know. He looked
Well,
like
it-
he was insane. Like he was.
It also was like what made him different from Zubat, primarily.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, yeah, they gave him eyes and like feet and stuff and a bigger mouth, but other than that, he's still blue. He's still got purple wings. Like, he's still got little bat ears. In fact, his ears got smaller after he evolved. That's kind of weird. But like,
Well, I'm sure they're bigger overall.
I guess. But yeah, I kind of missed the tongue. I thought that was a funny, like, cool thing, and it was only in red and blue sprites ever, and then it's just not there. I think he's got it in the 3D games.
Yeah,
he
like
does.
when he licks or whatever. But
I think it's just a special attack. Sorry.
whatever. You would know. So don't listen to me.
I guess they just wanted Golbat to not be like a dog sticking its head out of a car window.
Well, I think he actually looks
Huh?
kind of silly with the big mouth without the tongue. Like, it doesn't really justify why his mouth is so damn huge. But, you know, that's just nitpicking. You know, we still love Golbat, even if he's not as cool as Zubat or Crobat. So,
Maybe he has a bigger mouth because like there's more room for like the supersonic sonar stuff or whatever to bounce in his mouth.
Maybe his mouth got bigger because
maybe.
Magnemite.
Because he's magnetic. So-
Magnetically repulsed open.
Yeah, so
I
that he,
couldn't say that with a straight face.
so that he could eat Dugtrios. Yeah, that's exactly.
Magnetic shockwave.
Anyway,
All right, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's about it for Dugtrio.
Wait, actually,
Golbat run.
Golbat evolves into Crobat, and Crobat's cool. That's all I want to say.
Crobat's the best. But
Yeah,
anyway,
this
let us
on
move.
to
Let us move on to number 2. Take it away, Joshua.
Number 2.
All right, number 2 is Graveler. For some reason, he gets 2 extra arms and then loses them when he evolves again. Yeah, he's one of those metal forms. But I think he looks enough like Geodude to justify his appearance. You know, he's basically Geodude with legs and 2 extra arms.
Stubbly arms.
Why does he get those 2 extra arms anyway? I don't get it.
Just to lose him.
Yeah.
For funsies.
There are things I like about this Pokemon. For example, he's got that electrode smirk, like, yeah, you son of a bitch, you ran into me, I'm gonna kick your ass.
I'm gonna explode.
Yeah.
Well, he can
Oh my
explode.
gosh.
Yeah.
They exploded all over you.
Have you ever run into a shiny Graveler only to have him self-destruct on you? This has personally happened to me.
Oof.
And let's just say I dropped a shiny F unknown when that happened. Well, oh, and did I mention the arms are completely unnecessary?
No, I don't think you mentioned that.
Oh, well, good. There it goes.
Graveler's just kind of there. Like, he's just kind of lame. There's nothing about him, really.
I like Graveler, but he's totally lame. I mean, we just had to we had to come up with 5 basically.
Yeah. Well, Graveler's kind of
Everyone
got...
tied for second, actually.
Yeah, everyone's tied for second except number 1. Graveler's kind of got a second form syndrome pretty bad, because he's so not cool compared to the other two. You know?
Yeah, Golem rocks.
Yeah.
Literally.
And
I think-
Geodude rolls.
I think Geodude is cooler than any of the other two in that line. Like, he's just so cool.
Geodude.
Geodude.
He doesn't need legs or a dinosaur face. He
He
just
doesn't
rocks.
afraid of anything.
Yeah.
He just kicks ass and takes names.
I don't want to move on without pointing out this. When I was a kid, I'm still a ginormous dork, but when I was a kid, I was an even bigger loser. And I had a poster with all 150 Pokemon on it. And like as a kid, I thought Graveler was really cool because he's number 75 and he's right in the middle. And obviously Mew was not on this poster, but like number 75, like he's right in the middle of the poster. And I like you know how Steven's like Bulbasaur's the best because he's number 1. I don't know. As a kid, I just thought like, oh man, Graveler's like right in the middle of all the Pokemon. And now that there's 649, nobody even gives a shit about that anymore.
Yeah, who cares about Graveler? Come on.
Yeah.
What's half of 649?
Carried the one. No, I don't know.
I think Geodude should just evolved into 3 Geodudes stuck together.
Yeah, magnetically.
Yeah. They should have all been holding hands. Anyway.
And then a rock-shaped UFO.
Anyway, are we done with Graveler?
I think so.
Alright, well then let's move on to number 1. The only one that we knew for sure was going to be on this list. Take it away, Kyle.
Yes.
Or not.
Okay.
I was trying to think of something quirky to say, but oh well. No quirky intro for you today.
Number 1!
It's Exeggcute.
Oh, okay.
The thing about Exeggcute is, if we're going to harp on the word lazy, it's here. It's honestly, it's 6 eggs.
Yep.
With
And
faces.
It's twice
And-
as lazy as...
All the others.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the one that makes the least sense because it's supposedly one Pokemon that exists as one entity, and there's no discrepancies. No one has a scruple about this. No one asks why is 6 eggs one Exeggcute. It's like
Well,
what happens if you lose one? No one ever asks this question. Why is the one have his head cracked open when his brains aren't spilling out? Why does it evolve into a coconut tree?
That's the biggest question. I was
Yeah.
waiting for that one.
Why does it hatch from an egg?
that's a pretty...
Well,
what came
they
first,
didn't
the egg
have-
or the
They
eggs?
didn't have eggs in the first gen.
Yeah, but eventually they did, and he can hatch from one. That would be pretty convenient if you open an egg and like there was more eggs inside of it.
5, 6 more of them.
Yeah,
It's the Gemini spell.
Yeah.
Everything in this room will multiply.
that would make an omelet. It's pretty easy, man.
It's like, man, I only have 1 egg left. Oh, shit, now I have 6.
But this one's cracked.
Solve world hunger. But that's the real discrepancy, is that it's 6 individual beings that make up one Pokemon, and that doesn't make sense, never made sense, and they're never going to do anything to make it make more sense.
Not to mention it's 6 eggs, and that's lame.
It's just not interesting. Yeah, I mean, with Dugtrio and Magneton, like they're both like it's three moles and it's three like magnet robots. Like those are both things that are ostensibly cool. And Exeggcute is a bunch of eggs. Like
Yeah, Exeggutor is a palm tree, and that's awesome.
yeah, I love Exeggutor. I think Exeggutor is awesome, but
Exeggutor is a bamf.
he evolves from eggs.
Eggs.
And eggs aren't cool.
Why 6?
Because why
that's
not?
the real question. Why not a dozen?
So that 6 of them can wrap around his palm tree.
But there's only 3 of them on his head.
Aren't there 4?
I think.
Depends on who's animating the anime that day.
Well, I always thought like in the 3D games there was just 3 of them, but who the hell am I? Who do I know? What do I know? Who do I know?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Exeggcute is lame. That's why he's number 1. We knew he was going to be number 1. He's the only Pokemon from this gen that we pretty much dislike, and even he's not as bad as some of the other Pokemon we've mentioned in our previous lists. So
Myanmar.
yeah. Garbodor. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention in the last video about Yanma. My cousin caught a shiny Yanma. And she was like, all I have is this crummy Yanma.
Even in Gen
I feel
1, the
sorry
worst
for
Pokemon we could talk about is Yanma.
Oh gosh, my words are getting mixed up. Okay.
Is that it? I don't really... Is there really any honorable mentions? Like,
Yeah, there's a
Your
couple.
pocket's blasting off again.
There's like 2 or 3 honorable mentions that I think we should mention.
Venomoth being the primary
Ooh.
one.
Oh yeah.
The Shelder on Slowbro's tail. That looks nothing like Shelder.
I've never been a fan of Seal or Dugong. I lobbied for both of them on this list, not because they're bad, but they're just a Seal and a Dugong. Named Seal and Dugong. Like, they're very lazy, I think, but nobody else would have them because this is a consensus. And none of us like Venomoth except Kyle, so he had to be the problem child there.
I don't like Persian. That's
yeah,
very,
Persian's very forgettable.
Especially
I don't-
with Meowth being such a bam.
thanks to
I
the
don't
show.
like Drowsy or Hypno.
Why?
I have nothing
He's
against
got a-
Drowsy and Hypno, but like they were on my list. Like they, like compared to all the others, they're lame. But I don't hate
Again,
them
this is
either.
another one that you guys don't get just because you're not Japanese.
I know it's a Baku or something.
That
But
doesn't, that doesn't
I
make
don't
them
like
cool.
Hypno more, yeah.
I got nothing against Drowsy and Hypno. I wouldn't have put them on this list. They're not
Didn't
great.
somebody say they
They're
didn't
not
like
bad. Yeah, Matt wanted Gloom on this list, but I wasn't having that.
Yeah,
I
I
like
don't,
Bloom is based off a real flower, just like Vileplume and Oddish. There's
What?
nothing wrong with Gloom.
Like, Gloom is totally the worst of that line, but I like it way too much to put it in the 5 worst. I mean, I don't see anything wrong. I think Weeping Bell and Victory Bell are both worse than Gloom. And I don't even hate either of them. I just think
Yeah.
I think both of them are way worse.
I don't like Gloom, but I guess I'm alone.
Yes,
What
you
about
are.
Fearow?
What
Oh
about
man.
what about Ditto?
Yeah, Ditto
I've actually
sucks.
heard arguments about Ditto being just an emoticon.
Ditto is our least favorite Pokemon. If he's
No.
if he's transformed into Execute.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, that's the stipulation.
Right. Oh, that was what it was supposed to... we even wrote that and everything.
Well, now we remember.
Tangela. He's who I
Hey,
wanted to
Nothing's
mention.
wrong with Tangela.
I like Tangela.
Tangela's
Phil's
awesome,
favorite
and Phil
Pokemon.
will have your head for that.
Yeah.
I don't hate Tangela, but he's one of my least favorite out of this genre.
Goofy-looking Pokemon will go a long way for me.
And Tangela hits the mark pretty well.
Yeah, Tangle is so goofy looking, like I can't not love it. It's like Sheep Man. Like you get to a point where you're so ridiculous that I have to love you.
Well, Tangela is pretty ridiculous, so I guess we hit the
I don't
mark
think
there.
Tangela's as bad as Seeking.
Seeking's pretty bad. Yeah,
Seeking's just a fish.
I like how Matt was
With a
like,
horn.
we're not gonna have any honorable mentions, and then look at all this.
Well, I didn't think we would have that many. I have nothing against Seeking, by the way, other than the fact that he sucks. like
Yeah.
in game. Like, there's no reason to use Seeking. There's roughly 2 fully evolved water Pokemon worse than Seeking.
Isk and Luminion.
Yep. Way to hit the
I'm
nail on the
personally
head there.
not a fan of Dugtrio.
Dugtrio's on the list. Oh, Dodrio.
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 I like Dodrio.
It's got too similar name to Dugtrio, and it's also another like 3 Pokemon.
Yeah, but they at least changed stuff
They look
to it.
different. Yeah. Yeah,
And
but
it's from a dodo, which is, clearly a 2-headed dodo bird.
Well, I've heard an argument that Ghastly and Cloyster are basically the same. I don't get that one. I mean, I get they're both circles with half angry eyes, whatever.
There's a lot of
Except
Pokemon in this gen, like fucking Venonat, who I love. Okay, I think Venonat is amazing, but he's a disembodied Butterfree head. Like, look at
Buddy
him.
free.
Buddy Free, yeah. Hey, buddy, you free this afternoon? Let's go get a beer with the Magnetons. Anyway, Venonat, like, he's a disembodied Butterfree head. Look at him and tell me he's not. Like, he should evolve into Butterfree.
I love Venonat. He's my favorite bug type.
I like Venonat a lot. I just said, were you listening to my whole preface here?
I was listening, Ricky. I don't understand. I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, yeah,
wanna
like the
emphasize.
Ghastly Cloyster thing, like, there's a lot of weird.
Like connections like that.
Yeah.
Some of the Pokemon.
they look alike. You look crazy.
Yeah, people's.
I see it. If you just look at like the black center of
That's
Cloyster,
a black circle.
yeah,
What do you want?
with angry eyes and like a grin.
I think
Well, one of
Electrode
them has
looks
a
like
grin.
Voltorb.
Whatever, man. I think that pretty much sums up what we got to say about first gen.
Yeah, we're pretty much done.
Yeah.
We were done a while ago.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. Thanks for joining us on Making You Hate Us. We'll do more Pokemon lists eventually. I don't know what we'll do, but for now,
Top 5 things they should fix in the next
top
Pokemon
5
game.
best Pokemon? How about that?
that would be impossible. But tune in next time, Adamant Ditto viewers. Until then,
Things they should fix. The fucking Wi-Fi!
That's exactly what I was gonna make the entire list.
Like, number 5, the Wi-Fi. Number 4, the Wi-Fi.
goodbye, Adamant Ditto viewers.